I play chess really fast. My friend plays very slow. Sometimes it's fun, but sometimes it can feel a little bit unfair. One of us is always waiting. The other one is always thinking. It's not a big problem and we are just playing for fun. But I thought it could be nicer if the game felt fair for both of us. Chess is a game that people play in many different ways. Some like to think a long time and someone like to move quickly. And both ways are okay, but when you play together, the difference in speed can make the game feel unbalanced. So I had an idea. I could just buy a chess clock, but instead I want to try building my own. Maybe I can make it cheaper and it would be much cooler to see if I can do it myself. Now it's time to build my prototype. The goal of the prototype is simple. I want to see which components I need, how everything can fit together and how the chess clock will actually work. This is just the first step. I'm testing the basic setup, trying out different parts and figuring out which pieces are the best for the final build. It's a chance to experiment, learn what works and see what doesn't, before I build the real version. Here's my prototype so far. I'm using a 20x4 display to show all the informations. There are 3 main buttons, one for start, one for time and one for mode. I also have 2 player buttons, one for each player. To give feedback there are 2 LEDs, one for each player. The buzzer is simulated with a yellow LED for now. Everything is controlled with Arduino Nano and the power comes from a DC to DC converter, stepping from 5 to 12 volts. On the left side there is a switch, but that's only for the prototype. After building the prototype, the next step was writing the program. I coded everything so the display, buttons, LEDs and buzzer would work together. I'm showing this part in a time-lapse. At the end of the video I will explain how to actually use the chess clock. The full code will be available in the video description, so anyone can use it for their own project. After that I created a PCB for the chess clock. I used EasyEDA to design it, and having a PCB makes everything much simpler. There's less wiring, it's easier to assemble and overall it just looks much cleaner. I will also put the file below in the video description, so anyone can use it for their own build. Now it's time to assemble the PCB and put everything together. This is a simple sketch to see how everything connects. I'm using a DC to DC converter here, but you could also skip that and power everything with batteries. I choose a fixed power supply because I don't like having to recharge things all the time. I just want to plug it and use it. If you want to follow along, you can take a screenshot of this sketch and work from that. Next, I designed the enclosure in 3D. I did all modeling in Fusion 360. This allowed me to design the parts exactly the way I need them. This is how the chess clock is supposed to look like in the end. On the left and right side, the LEDs are still missing here. I added them later and forgot to include them in the design. In the next view, you can see where the display goes. The display is placed in the front together with the display holder. I designed a holder for the display, but later realized that it's very hard to assemble. Because of that, I decided not to use it in the final build. After that, all the buttons and the LEDs are placed in the front. The PCB is simply placed inside the case. On the back side, the DC to DC converter and the DC power plug are installed. Finally, the back cover is screwed on, and that's basically the complete assembly. As an extra step, I added a steel plate inside, about 3 mm, to give the chess clock more weight, so it doesn't move around. I also added rubber feet on the bottom, so it stays in place on the table. Now it's time to assemble everything. Now I will show you how to use the chess clock. First, I turn it on. By pressing the mode button, you can switch between the different modes. I select the classic mode by pressing start. With the time button, I can change the number of minutes. Pressing start again brings me to the main screen. Now the game can begin. The first player makes a move and presses the player button. Then the second player does the same. This continues back and forth during the game. If you want to break the game, you can press the start button. To go back to the menu, you hold the mode button for 5 seconds. When the remaining time goes below 3 minutes, the blinking gets faster and faster. At the end there is a beep and the display shows which player has lost. Here I wrote down all the parts and how much they cost. The total is. It is probably not cheaper than buying a chess clock, but I had a lot of fun building it myself. I learned a lot and it was a great experience. I hope you like seeing how it all come together. Building it yourself can be really fun and you can learn many new things along the way. Don't forget to check the description for the files and the code, so you can try it yourself if you want. Thanks for watching. If you want to see more projects I should build, please write me in the comments.